Minority in Parliament slams Ghana-US deportation deal, describing it as unconstitutional and demands immediate suspension by government, serving notice of possible legal action soon.
We just want the right thing to be done.
Will you go to court?
The minority will take that decision. So speak now, I'm aware. I've heard a few people have been made attempts to court to stand their lawyers to go to court on this matter. Minority will take the decision.
We have details as they also warn of grave diplomatic challenge for Ghana over breach of non-alliance policy when the foreign minister went all out to condemn Israel in the ongoing war with Palestine.
By describing the events in Gaza in absolute terms and aligning the country explicitly with one side in a highly polarized conflict, the government risks compromising the delicate balance that has long safeguarded Ghana's credibility as an impartial actor on the international stage.
More on this in the next 30 minutes here on Top Story, brought to you always by Telecel Connect and Energies and also by Shield Pension Trust. Into the future with you. Tonight, the minority in Parliament is up in arms against Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, accusing him of breaching the 1992 Constitution and disregarding parliamentary oversight by signing a deportation deal with the United States without consulting lawmakers. This agreement has made Ghana a transit point for West African nationals deported from the U.S., sparking intense debate back home. Now, Ghana received 14 West African deportees from the U.S., including Nigerians and Gambians, who were later sent to their countries of origin. Minister Okudzeto-Ablakwa confirms 40 more deportees are expected in the country soon. 11 of the initial 14 deportees sued Ghana over human rights violations, though their case was dismissed. But today, the minority has weighed in on the matter, warning that Ghana may suffer severe diplomatic problem with other countries if we continue to accept deportees from the United States of America. We'll hear from them shortly, but first listen to the justification of Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa when he spoke at the government accountability series 9 days ago.
Our decision is grounded purely on humanitarian principle and Pan-African solidarity, to offer temporary refuge where needed, to prevent further human suffering, and to maintain our credibility as a responsible regional actor. Ghana's decision must be understood as an act of Pan-African empathy. It is not transactional. Like Rwanda, Eswatini, Uganda, South Sudan, who are welcoming fellow Africans, we are standing up for our brothers and sisters in distress. And this should not be misconstrued as an endorsement of the immigration policies of the Trump administration.
Well, we can now hear from the ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, Samuel Abu-Jinapo, who says the agreement must be halted immediately because it does not only breach the Constitution but also flies in the face of the Supreme Court.
We are also shocked by the Honorable Minister's claim that the Honorable Attorney General advised Cabinet that this agreement does not require parliamentary approval. The Attorney General of the Republic was the Deputy Attorney General when the decision in the Bamford case was delivered by the Supreme Court. He cannot therefore feign ignorance about this case and purport to give a legal opinion which therefore contradicts the decision of the Supreme Court, if indeed he did. The opinion of the United States Attorney General, if it was indeed given, is of no consequence in our country, as both the constitutional provision and the Supreme Court decision are very clear. Indeed, the Supreme Court held in the Bamford case that the distinction in the United States between executive agreements, which does not require the approval of Congress, and treaties, which require such approval, are not applicable in Ghana in the light of the clear constitutional provision in Article 75. The government's conduct in operationalizing the agreement with the United States without parliamentary ratification is a direct constitutional violation of Article 75 and an affront to the authority of the Supreme Court. It is therefore deeply concerning that the government continues to operationalize the agreement with the United States despite these flagrant constitutional breaches. Such conduct reflects a lack of respect for the rule of law, which is one of the fundamental pillars of our constitutional democracy. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, beyond this blatant constitutional breach, the agreement raises pressing concerns of sovereignty, security, and policy. While regional integration remains a core value of our foreign policy, it cannot be stretched to justify the forced deportation of foreign nationals deported from other countries. The ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement concerns voluntary travel, not forced deportations orchestrated by a non-ECOWAS state. On the international stage, the foreign policy consequences of this agreement are equally alarming. Ghana has, over the years, built a proud reputation for principled diplomacy rooted in non-alignment, regional solidarity, and respect for human rights. The decision to serve as a receiving point for West African deportees against their wishes with emphasis from the United States risks our country being perceived as aligning itself with the United States government's current immigration enforcement regime, one which has been criticized as harsh and discriminatory. To associate Ghana with such policies could have several negative implications for our country, particularly within the African continent. We therefore reiterate our call on the government to suspend with immediate effect the unconstitutional implementation of this agreement until Parliament has duly exercised its constitutional mandate to scrutinize same and ratify it or otherwise. We further urge government to provide full clarity on the processes, safeguards, and other broader implications associated with receiving these deportees, including the measures, if any, that have been taken to protect Ghana's security interests, Ghana's foreign policy, and the Gaza conflict.
Another matter of interest has been government's condemnation of Israel in the ongoing war with Gaza. Samuel Abujinapo says the posture violates the non-alliance policy of the country and could result in serious diplomatic problems for Ghana.
By describing the events in Gaza in absolute terms and aligning the country explicitly with one side in a highly polarized conflict, the government risks compromising the delicate balance that has long safeguarded Ghana's credibility as an impartial actor on the international stage. Our tradition has been to call for peace, dialogue, and adherence to international law without issuing declarations that may prejudice our ability to play a mediating or bridge-building role. Successive governments have, over decades, interpreted and applied these principles by maintaining a posture of independence and impartiality in international conflicts. It is therefore crucial, ladies and gentlemen of the press, that in responding to this conflict, Ghana's official statements continue along this tradition, speaking clearly to the need for peace, the protection of civilians, and adherence to international law, by doing so in a manner that avoids the perception of taking sides in a very deeply divisive conflict. The Minority Caucus wishes to emphasize that Ghana's enduring strength in international relations has always come from its ability to maintain independence, neutrality, and credibility, even when global powers have sought to draw us into their competing blocs. Departures from this tradition, if not checked, could diminish our moral authority on the international stage and compromise our wider national interests. We therefore call on the government to exercise caution and be consistent in articulating Ghana's foreign policy positions, particularly on sensitive international conflicts, such as the Gaza conflict. The government must ensure that Ghana's position reflects our long-standing commitment to non-alignment, multilateralism, and principled diplomacy, rather than hasty or unilateral declarations. Calm, measured, and nuanced diplomacy is essential for the conduct of our foreign policy in general and for addressing volatile situations such as the current conflict in particular.
Well, this is Top Story, brought to you always by Telecel, Connecting Energies, and also by Shield Pension, Trust into the Future with you. Now, let's do more on this particular subject by bringing in Nana Asafo Aye. He's Deputy Ranking on the Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration Committee of Parliament and also MP for Bosume. Grateful to you for joining us here. Now, you say that these actions taken on by the government have serious implications for us. What exact implications will the country suffer? Okay, we've lost Nana Asafo Aye there. We'll bring him again. Let's now. Okay, we have Asafo back, I'm told. Do we still have you, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. So I wanted to find out from you exactly the sort of implications that Ghana could suffer because of the actions taken by government.
So, if you could recall, there are certain individuals we do not know what arrangement they have with this country, or what is it that is inherent, the so-called memorandum of understanding that brought them here. And if we don't take the same humanitarian grounds for which we accepted to take Nigerians when their own countries decided not to take them, the same humanitarian grounds that made us take the Gambians, that even Gambia rejected their own, will be the same humanitarian grounds these same people will level some accusations against this country. That is important, we must note. Again, you see, for the fact that the country is calling on the government to make this document transparent, available to Parliament, the representation of the people, so that we can give the full ratification to the government, so that should anything happen, there is an insulation to the government that Parliament has ratified and you have the full support of the people in whatever agreement or whatever arrangement you have taken. And if you do not do so, it means that should something happen, the country cannot be insulated of anything. And these are some of the critical things. And we, the minority, feel that this government should be the person that will make us go through this conversation, because they have a precedent, and the precedent is clear. And for us, the minority, we made reference to the precedent. That look, the ruling was clear. It said it doesn't matter how the arrangement is out. It doesn't matter the nomenclature, whether it is a love letter, whether it is a note verbal, whatever it is. So far as it places an obligation on the good people of Ghana, it must come to Parliament.
Let me now bring in an example we've had in the past, the Gitmo 2. I mean, during that time, we were speculating that it could have some negative impact on the country. It never did. So why should we be afraid that taking our own brothers from sister countries could then spell any sort of doom for the country?
So are you now telling us that because we are not afraid, the Constitution must not be obeyed, or we must not go according to the tenet of the Constitution because you are not afraid? No, that's
not my focus. I mean, I'm basing on the fact that I'm basing on the fact that you say there could be some implications for this country because their home countries are not accepting them.
I am saying that.
Okay.
I am saying that. Be clear on the point. We are basing on a certain humanitarian grounds. Mm-hmm. The minority is not against it. We are only saying that validate that basis on humanitarian grounds so that you will be insulated, so that a future government will not also bind the country under any arrangement with the notion or hide under a certain name or nomenclature that, hey, this is an MOU, this is a correspondence, or this is just a note verbal, or this is a love letter. No, future government must be born to some precedent. And we believe that this government, one, they have the numbers. So they do not even have any cause of worry. And the minority is not set out to frustrate them.
Okay.
We are only trying to get them to do what is right.
I get your point now. Yeah, I get your point that due process should have been followed. Now, we understand that 40 more deportees are on their way. What will you do to avert this if the foreign minister doesn't hold the process? Because you say that due process means it has to come to Parliament.
Hear your point well, please.
I'm asking that we understand that 40 more deportees are on their way. So what will you do to avert this if the foreign affairs minister doesn't halt the process? Because as we understand now, that has not been sent to Parliament. Not so.
So first and foremost, you did not even know that the minority will come out with the presser today. So we have asked the government. We believe, like we were told, this is a listening government. So we believe that the listening government will listen and sit back, look at it again, and then make some adjustment and bring the MOU or whatever it is to Parliament. If it doesn't happen and it continues the same way the minority communicated to you today, you would hear our next line of action.
Okay, now you have an option to drag him before the Supreme Court and pray the court to cite him for contempt. Will you explore that?
Don't worry, it is not for us to discuss it now. What we are telling you is that when it doesn't happen, that they come to Parliament or they do the needful, the next line of action will be communicated to you.
Do stay with me because we have to explore the legal, the Israel angle as well. But let me bring in Joseph Kumar. He is member of the Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration and MP for Kintampo North. Joseph, I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, I mean, you've had the minority there. Why did the minister fail in the first place to do the needful if he is enjoined by the laws of this country to send that particular, whether it's MOU or a note verbal to the House for them to approve before that is done?
Well, let me take this opportunity to thank your listeners and from my brother Ofori for being on your screen or whatever. I know Parliament is on recess, and if possibly the government sees the need to save a situation, why not? The government of Ghana has legal brains, not excluding the Attorney General and others, the Council of State and others who advise the government. And so knowledgeable is our Foreign Affairs Minister. I'm sure certain consultations might have gone on before allowing these deportees down. What does Ghana stand for in all this? We keep quoting our founders, especially late Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, saying that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked to the total liberation of Africa. So if Africans are hot somewhere, they can't find their feet, and we open our arms for them to come home, why not?
Well, as much as
what is the word liberation? Where is it coming from?
As much as I agree with you,
where is it coming from?
As much as I agree with you that was the vision of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, do you also believe that we're a country governed by rules or laws? Do you believe that?
Why not?
So if you believe we are governed by laws, why, because of the interest of, say, we are integrating the continent, put aside your law when you know the law says or the law enjoins you to take such a matter to Parliament for an agreement before you agree to it?
That's why I'm saying if it is an issue of emergency, definitely the government is advised accordingly. And if there is the need that there is no window of opportunity, why they should accept them. The government will explain later to us.
But
I'm not sure this would be something that.
Was it? Is it the case that these issues are an emergency ones?
In actual fact, I have not followed this issue much because I've been more in my constituency. However, I have listened to news. I've listened to the Foreign Affairs Minister speak to it. Said Ghana hadn't taken any money or has not signed any MOU for monetary purpose or compensation purpose, among other things. And so, for it to look like, why are they doing something like that without parliamentary approval? I'm yet to understand where the minority is coming from.
Well, you are on that committee. We are being told that 40 more of these deportees are on their way. Will your committee insist upon the minister to halt the process and wait for Parliament to ratify this before he goes ahead to do what he has to do?
Rightly so. Now that this is coming up, and the minority, Safoje is part of the committee. I think some of these things, do we need to rush to the media? You can raise it on the committee platform, and then we talk to it. The chairman's attention will be brought to it. And aside that, Parliament, a 15-member petition committee, can call Parliament to come to even engage on anything.
So will you insist? Will you insist upon the minister to halt the process and wait for Parliament to ratify first?
Well, I'm yet to understand the whole process, but that's why I began by saying the minister cannot air that much if there was no window of opportunity. And so is the government, because the government has the Attorney General and other very knowledgeable legal brains to advise the government, not excluding the council estate.
Okay, I'll come back to you and Asafoje, but let me bring in Professor Vladimir Nchudan. So he is an international relations expert. Prof, you have two sides here. The question that lingers is, are we really at a risk of having frictions with our West African neighbors who have refused to directly receive their people for reasons known best to them?
How it is handled. Let me say good evening to your cherished listeners. The point is this, that in diplomacy, you tread a very cautious line so that you don't injure your relationship with other countries. In this case, yes, the government is talking about empathy. On sympathetic grounds, we want them so that they don't fall into some injuries in the form of mistreatment in America, which is very good. They are West African nationals. If they were coming on their own, they didn't need a visa. They didn't need anything. They just walk in. So we have done well. But the point, have we done well for the good of themselves, those we are taking in, and of Ghanaians? That's the question I always ask. We must do things in such a way that we don't injure the persons we are helping or incur the displeasure of the countries where they come from. If you don't handle them well, their countries are going to be angry with us. Already I hear some of them have taken us to court because they have no obligations to us. They haven't asked that we take them and things like that. So this is the crux of the matter. Secondly, Ghana is not a monist country. Monism is where when your president or any minister goes out there and signs any agreement, it becomes binding on the state. We are a dualist country. I think it's Article 75 or so. So every small agreement, be it on agree with Burkina Faso agree or something with Iran, must pass through Parliament. Then it means we own that kind of agreement, that kind of treaty that we have signed. And I'm surprised because we have had a bad image before. We took in the Guantanamo Bay criminals, and it brought big problems for Ghana. At the time that we said, okay, America can come for them because of the agreement, they said, no, sorry, your own country hasn't ratified them. They didn't get a third country to take them. So they are now Ghanaians. My taxpayers' money is being used to look after them. These are some of the things we need to be very careful about in international relations.
Okay. So
why couldn't Nigeria or America seek audience with Nigeria to bring their own nationals to them, Gambians and whatever? So we must be very, very careful about these things.
So if I understand, it means government violated the laws of this country in accepting this without parliament, right?
One way or the other, yes, it depends on how we look at it. They have a right to sign any agreement. Nobody quarrels with them. But they are obliged, when they have signed an obligation on us, to also let our representatives accept it on our behalf. You know, the next question is, we are saying we took them on the side of empathy. I mean, it's like compassionate grounds. I agree. Compassion is with everybody, every country. But watch, the president himself veered off onto a certain line. In diplomacy, you don't give anything without expecting anything. It is a cardinal principle. And the president himself gave himself out, veered off by talking about some tariffs that were splashed on us 10%, then it went to 15%, and then he veered off again by talking about visas that have been given, 5-year visas that have been cancelled. Where that came from, I don't know, but it sounded like, oh, this is the reason why we also wanted to take them.
Okay.
For me, you don't give anything out in diplomacy without expecting anything. It's absolutely a non-starter.
All right. I'm grateful to you, Prof, for joining us here. Nanasa for JIA, let me come back to you. Now, you are taking on the minister for his stance for criticizing Israel on the attack in Gaza. How different is this from former President Akufo-Addo's stance on Russia for its invasion in Ukraine?
But can I please make this point before we quickly move to there? You see,
if you can do it for me in 20 seconds, I'll be happy.
When the majority makes the point that the committee or some of these things should come to the committee and it shouldn't go on air or we shouldn't rush to the media, I'm surprised. The president announced this thing on media. The minister went to the media to discuss it. He didn't recognize the committee, which you are a member of. The minister didn't recognize it. You, a member of the committee, didn't raise this point on the committee. I go to respond, or minority go to speak on it. Minority should now come to the committee or come to the platform of the committee. What kind of logic is this? So please, when the issues come, the majority should be proactive. The same way when the Washington embassy was closed down. We requested for the documents, the report upon which the house was closed.
Right.
The majority came to do a press conference against our request.
Okay.
And up to now, we don't even have the report. We don't even know what report the minister based on to take the decision and action he took.
I'm grateful.
Can you be on record that we are not against any humanitarian rights? When Ghana wants to be Father Christmas, we are not against it. What we are saying is that the due process must be done. And you could hear my colleague clearly. It could not even judge the case or give the issues. It appears he did not even understand what we are discussing. But they have big preliminary, they have people who can advise that. I struggle to really understand what the point is making.
Okay, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Nanasa for JIA is Deputy Ranking Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration Committee of Parliament. Earlier, you had Joseph Kuma. He is member of the same committee, and Professor Vladimir Entry Danso. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies and also by Shield Pension, Trust into the Future with you. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Thanks for listening. Up next is Newsnight.
In the next 60 minutes here on Newsnight, mounting public pressure pays off in the war against illegal mining, with government now set to declare forests and rivers national security zones, but falls short of declaring a state of emergency.
The president has made it very clear that we are moving a step that says that all the water bodies and the forest reserves are going to be national security zones. You know what that means? Stress zone, no go. And we are now preparing to deploy permanent security forces in this area.
Plus, anti-Galamsey campaigners hint at massive protests to occupy the seat of government.
Your children and your children's children's future, stay there. Everybody, we are going to occupy that flag servant at some point. We have to come together, have one common conference, and agree a way forward, because we are almost becoming a leaderless state.
We have the latest as a Catholic Church resolves to use its pulpit to mobilize mass citizen action against illegal mining.
Bishop Conference are asking priests to talk about it at churches.
At churches, okay.
You know, because that is also one basic place you can get people.
Absolutely. And with your numbers that can have...
Especially areas where these things are happening.
Also coming up tonight, Agbogbloshi market traders and shoppers react with mixed feelings to the Environmental Protection Agency's report revealing contamination in staple foods like tomatoes, contumely, coconut and mangoes across 6 regions.
What's the report? I mean, because I'm at tea, I'm in tea.
Oh, yati. In toast, baby, in toast, you too good over in toast in you.
Yes, say.
A bewukra.
Intimate fifi.
And sokra. Bewuntem.
Also, Ghana's rural banks face a wave of brazen robberies, with a shocking 10 institutions hit in just 6 months, sparking urgent questions about their security despite a major breakthrough by the police in dismantling the notorious gang behind the recent robberies.
We have successfully arrested 10 suspects. 3 other suspects were shot dead in the course of the operation during a shootout with the police. We have launched a manhunt for the remaining suspects who are on the run. We will not stop until we get them arrested.
In business,
some businesses threaten to pass on cost of duty tariffs hikes to consumers.
You want to stay with us for all that plus sports here on Newsnight. 055-1111-997. And we start tonight obviously with the fight and the war against illegal mining, because tonight the mounting public pressure demanding more radical government action against illegal mining is beginning to pay off. Lands and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Amakofibua has today announced that government will be declaring all forest reserves and water bodies as national security zones. He, however, fell short of indicating when or if a state of emergency will be declared, as demanded by anti-Galamsey campaigners. Now, Mr. Kofibwa says this new measure marks a major shift from previous interventions and signals a tougher stance on the ongoing battle against environmental destruction.
The government has the power at its disposal to take steps to deal with this. And I think that if you had listened to me comprehensively, one is the policy reform, one is the stakeholder engagement, one is to deal with the water, one is to strengthen enforcement. All of these things that I'm talking about, why did we establish the Blue Water Guards? And now, just in the last week or so, the president has made it very clear that we are moving a step that says that all the water bodies and the forest reserves are going to be national security zones. You know what that means? Stress zone, no go. And we are now preparing to deploy permanent security forces in these areas.
The water guards?
No, the water guard has been the first step. We've already trained 1,000. We are training more. We've deployed to the western, north, and they are making serious impact. What I'm saying is that the level of destruction that this new government came to meet, we are under no illusion that this is going to be solved in 8 months. But we are proud of what we are doing. We are seeing the progress. And at every time when we believe we have to strengthen what we are doing, we do. And that's exactly the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that we believe, and
let me say that those who are really calling for the government to do more, we understand. This is a hearing, a listening government, and we are going to do more, and we appreciate it. But let me tell you, those who don't even want them to be talking, is those political apparatchiks who have caused the damage that we are trying to solve. They should really give us some break and give us a room. These are the people who have given almost 20-something thousand licenses, unprecedented in the history of this country, to political operatives, open the floodgate of our forests to be destroyed. I told you 44 out of 288 forests is decimated.
So that there is Amako Fibwa, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and he was speaking on GTV today. Well, he fell short of declaring or announcing that government has any intentions of declaring a state of emergency. And Pearl, you know, that has been the fundamental demand by the anti-Galamsey campaigners as far as the war on illegal mining is concerned. And whilst government has expressed, the president himself has expressed his hesitation, his reluctance, as he puts it, about declaring a state of emergency. Some of his appointees are on record to have demanded for exactly that, the state of emergency. And I want to take you to the central region, which has become the epicenter as far as the impact of illegal mining is concerned. The Central Regional Minister there, who obviously chairs the Central Regional Security Council, Penyin Domwa, who has spoken to us a couple of weeks back, is on record on the back of the devastation caused by illegal mining and the shutting down of the Kwenyako water treatment plant, asked for the imposition of a state of emergency to help him fight.
And I agree with you. Any suggestion that will come from you as media people, I think the government is ever ready.
Do you support that imposition of a state of emergency on those water bodies that have been affected?
Seriously, I do agree. In fact, including going beyond that. You see, I think that we the politicians are complicit.
So that is the Central Regional Minister saying he agrees the state of emergency must be imposed. Another appointee of the president, this time the head of the Environmental Protection Authority, Professor Nanama Kluche, even went further. She wanted far more drastic measure from his government, from her government.
And in all of these things, as Erasmus said, for me, it has to go. We have to go radical.
And
it's not as if we don't have what it takes to go radical. We do have what it takes to go radical.
So what is preventing?
Let me give you one simple example.
Right.
You see a site on the screen now. If you have an airplane, a military airplane, fly there and shoot one or two, will they come back tomorrow? Will they not tell the other people, other miners in other sites that this is their approach and they should flee for their life? They will. So we've had election, which is a democratic election, and we got 8 people died. Some died without records and all of that. If we are really at a war, can't we do this example for people to scare off the mining sites?
And Evans, there is more, because Senor Jose, who is a member of the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining, hence that the coalition will mobilize to occupy the seat of government if demands to impose a state of emergency are not met.
This is what we are going to do if these people are not going to cooperate with us. The church, not just the Catholic Church, the whole church. My former school prefect, he's the Assemblies of God head. Pastor Winger, what are you telling? Pastor Winger, I'm asking you, what are you telling the president? Me, I'm a Royal Ranger. Pastor Winger, what are you telling the president? Because he goes to your church. What is Assemblies of God telling the president? Catholics, what are you telling the people in cabinet? So if not, bring everybody together. They are Lutheran right now. That's our option. Organized labor, you tag, forget about who wants to tell himself. Forget him. If you don't have common sense to think that you have to fight for your own future, your children and your children's future, stay there. Everybody, we are going to occupy that flag surface at some point. We have to come together, have one common conference, and agree a way forward, because we are almost becoming a leaderless state. When you see this, what does it look like?
Well, he clashed with the director of mining at the Environmental Protection Agency, Michael Ali, who argued that a state of emergency is not needed just yet.
We've all come to accept that illegal mining is a national security threat.
Okay.
We are not a military. We can only educate. We can only advise.
But, Michael, so what is your advice to the president on? You said it's a national security problem. What is your advice there? Do you back the declaration of the state of emergency, EPA?
I can't say about that, but I mean, when there is a need for it, and all of us are agreeing that there is a need for it, why not? But
you remember you are a technical person. You've seen the problem. You said it's a national security issue. So you just have to give your advice. It's the president's job to. Does the EPA believe, from a technical point of view, that a state of emergency will help deal with the problem fundamentally?
From my personal perspective, I don't think we have gotten there yet.
Okay, so that's the president's line.
I don't think the man speaking even believes in what he's saying. You heard his own language. You say this is a crisis. If you are sitting here, you are an EPA man, you are seeing this thing, you are telling what you... Let me tell you the conditions under which you are supposed to have what do you call it, a state of emergency. Look at the Constitution. Look at Article 31. Very clear. These are the conditions. Very summarized. War and armed conflict, natural disasters, floods, earthquake, public health crisis. Any situation that disrupts essential supplies or public safety. Which part of this English that anybody listening here doesn't understand? Can you treat mami? Don't put banamla. What joke is this?
Senior Hosi further insists there must be a ban on the importation of purified bottled water to force the political class to drink galamsey polluted water with the rest of the citizens.
They have gotten back.
We've not got the formal feedback from the presidency. What we eventually got, which we appreciate from the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, they gave us a seat at the NIMOS so that we have visibility on what's going on.
Okay.
But like I repeat, the summary, the sweetness of the pudding is only in the eating. So if the effect of all that we are doing is meaningful, it should reflect in better stability in our water levels. Yeah. We have to use the forces of the state.
To do
and that is why you have a president in whom all our natural resources is entrusted upon in our constitution.
Anyway.
So this thing is neither here nor there. We repeat, all the water bodies, they should allow Ghana Water to publish on a daily basis if the president means well for us. He should start by 1st October, every single place where we process water, publish it. Let everybody track what is happening. Number 2, they must ban the importation of drinking water. Ban it.
Purify.
Mr. President, your house, you can't have some. Mr. Minister, your house, you can't have some. Mr. MP, your house, you can't have some. Mr. Businessman, you can't have some. If you don't suffer with the people, you can't cure their problem because their problem will look too far away from you. Like the children you are seeing there. It look like some places, even look like Sudan or something like that. Some godforsaken. That's how that thing look like. Look at it like Sudan, Somalia, something like that. So they don't see it. Let it come to their doors. And in fact, I think that the gods of my village, we should ban any Accra person drinking water from the water leak.
And tonight, the Catholic Church is also using its pulpit to mobilize citizen support against illegal mining. Reverend Father Nicholas Azin, President of the National Justice, Peace and Integrity of Creation at the Catholic Archdiocese, is leading the charge.
Well, there are different groups within the church that are talking for now.
Okay.
We want to come up later on and see what other things can we do besides the statement that was issued by the Bishop Conference. I mean, another thing I know that the church is also doing is that the Bishop Conference are asking priests to talk about it at churches.
At churches, okay.
You know, because that is also one basic place you can get people.
Absolutely. And with your numbers that can have...
Especially areas where these things are happening. So that they can rethink about the way things are going. I mean, it's not just about writing things here and there, but there should be some concrete things happening. So I know there's a group that I'm part of. We like the ones that we did last year. We want to see if we can get many more people to also see light in what we're doing, and then they can join hands, and then we see what to do, you know, to also advise the president. The voice of the people is the voice of God. I mean, something we all know. So when people start talking here and there, we should know that it is the voice of God. We shouldn't just ignore it, you know, because the Muslim people are talking about it. The Pentecostal and the other Christians, they are talking about, Catholics are talking about it, then who else should talk about it?
Well, at least tonight we've heard from the Lands and Natural Resources Minister announcing that government will be declaring all forest reserves and water bodies as national security zones. I want to bring in Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, CEO, Ghana Chamber of Mines. He's a convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Dr. Ashigbe, you've heard the announcement by the minister today. Does that meet your fundamental demand?
Well, again, so that declaration of national security in the water bodies and the forest reserve. Well, we've had the minister also talk about the fact that we're going to have these forces permanently there. With the question we would want to ask, again, if you look at our press conference and our press statement, is the milestones and the timeline. So when is this going to be done? But you see, the state of emergency gives you other powers that this particular declaration, we don't know the details of it gives you. Well, currently one of the things that we should be asking for is the issue of forfeiture, confiscation of all of these weapons of mass destruction, the excavators. That would not be given to you under this arrangement that they are talking about. We have, is it the Minister of Agri distributing water pumps? That is an illegality because under Act 995, you would have to go to court with the people you have arrested, and then when that is done, before you can do the forfeiture. But under a state of emergency, you then can confiscate all of these excavators. Under a state of emergency, you will be able to confiscate every land that a chief has allowed Galamsey, to take place on. You will not be able to do that under this particular arrangement that we're talking about. Under a state of emergency, as the kid did, when they had their routes, you were able to set up a court, and then within 24 hours, you put people there and you prosecute them. So the issues that the minister has talked about, I think it's a good one. But the point is that when we met the minister, we conveyed to him, to the president, that the state of emergency is so critical. Even when you have water stability going above, what is it, 80,000 NTUs?
94,800 NTUs.
I don't know what else we would need before it would warrant it. And, so we have the semantics that is happening. The president himself had alluded to that this particular environmental crime is a national emergency. And I'm not too sure what the difficulty is in declaring state of emergency in part. And so for us, we want to see the details of what the Minister of Land has announced, but we still think that it is not enough. With the crisis that is confronting us, we need some level of urgency that currently is not coming in. Then all of us, you see, as we see, we all don't know the level of heavy metals that are in our waters that are being treated by Ghana Water. The Minamata Convention is something Ghana has signed on to. But the mercury that is coming into our country, now currently a lot of the Galamseyers, they bring people from Burkina Faso to use cyanide. And, if that is not handled well, like the way the light skill mines handle it, then the challenge with that would even be worse. So for us, as a coalition, we believe that the agency that is required to ensure that we deal with this has to be seen. We're still waiting to see what Honorable Kojo Ablakwa said that was going to happen. That, after the death of the age, His Excellency the President was going to demonstrate some more urgency. So we're still waiting for that.
Dr. Ashigbe, thank you very much. Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe is CEO, Ghana Chamber of Mines. He's also the convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. And I want to take you now to the market because the Galamsey stretched his pretty dangerous, deadly hand to the food that you like most.
Yes, Evan. So traders and shoppers at the Agbogboshi market have been reacting with mixed feelings to the EPA's report revealing contamination in staple foods like tomatoes, nkontomire, coconut, and mangoes across 6 regions of Ghana. My colleague Noella Karen Yali has more in this report.
I'm here at the Agbogboshi market in the heart of Accra, and I'm standing right inside an offloaded truck. But for time, this truck would have been filled with foodstuffs that have come from regions like the Ashanti, Savannah, Western North, and the Western region.
Here, in Accra's largest food hub, many traders and shoppers are either unaware of the report or simply don't believe it. Writer woman, a tomato seller, hadn't heard about it.
Say what's the report? Oh, anyone say
Others, like Ya Ekuma, had heard of the findings, but dismissed them as impossible.
Oh, yate in toast dia, we are in toast, you too good or in toast in
you say.
Ebe wukura, ebe kun mi ani nyina.
Entimi fifi.
Sokra. Ebe wutam.
For Mafosti, who sells kontomire, or cocoyam leaves, the claim is hard to believe. She insists the leafy vegetable could never grow on poisoned land.
Matibete nenya no kresa.
Are nenya no kwe.
Wei, enwa kasa na esuogu so a etimi fifi. Efri tete amani fi ye minyi ekwa menya be 55. Enya no kwe. Se asase a chemicals wo mu no. Kontomire ntumi fifi wo ho because ase ewura ni nyina e wo ho. Enti ebi ma.
Some shoppers, like Beatrice Larby, say even if the food is contaminated, washing with salt is enough to remove the danger.
Me pacho me dey answer I say me toy. Me kwa me dey chinsuo bede warm water na me dey chinsuo agu. Enchegu na ma wohoro ho ansa na me dey aye.
What in say high levels of chemicals on cry over toward your happen?
Say meto. Say me nim kwa me fa so amaye a ebi nka sa.
Okay.
For others, awareness of the contamination changes nothing. With few alternatives, they keep buying what is available.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. They said it's not good. The chemicals inside can cause disease for humans that are using it, but...
You still came to buy?
Yeah.
Why?
Just to test some 2 things in it.
Okay. You want to go and prepare food?
Yes, please.
So you can't do away with tomatoes?
We can do away with it. Just we are trying our best.
From poisoned soils in Kojo to dinner tables right here in Accra, the danger is closer than you think. Illegal mining is not just destroying our water bodies, it may be sitting right on our plates. From the Agbogboshi market right here in Accra, I'm Noella Karen Yali, and this is Joy News.
And Pearl, the next time you go to the market, what will you do, knowing the levels of toxic substance in these staples?
You know, a lot of the things that were mentioned, I have them at home.
Yeah, but you bought them from somewhere.
No, I didn't. I grow them at home.
Oh, you grow them?
Yes, I grow them. My father
has
a
backyard farm.
We have a backyard farm, so
okay.
We don't buy nkontomire, cocoyam leaves. We don't buy.
That's fascinating.
You should learn from us.
I'm going to be getting some from you then, henceforth. Thank you for sharing that. It's still live here on News 90s on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, Ghana's rural banks are facing a wave of brazen robberies with a shocking 10 institutions hit in just 6 months, sparking urgent questions about their security. Now, a major breakthrough by the Ghana Police Service has brought some relief. A notorious gang behind these heists has been partially dismantled, with 10 suspects arrested and 3 killed in a fierce shootout with police. Now, police conducted targeted raids across Ashanti, Ahafo, Western, Central, and Eastern regions, recovering 14 firearms, ammunition, vehicles, and mobile phones.
Now, authorities are hunting the remaining gang members who are still at large. Inspector General of Police Christian Tetoyono is vowing a relentless pursuit until all suspects face justice. Maxwell Agbagba of our security desk has more in this report.
Please space. Please give us space.
One by one, the suspects stepped out of the Black Maria that transported them to the police headquarters for a public parade. Some with their heads bowed, flanked by officers from the Criminal Investigations Department. On display as part of the recovered exhibits were, among other items, 14 different types of weapons. They include 3 AK-47 assault rifles, 1 single barrel gun with 1 AAA ammunition, 7 pump action guns and 96 rounds of AAA ammunition, 3 pistols with 40 rounds of ammunition, cash sum, 6 vehicles, 4 motorbikes, and different types of mobile phones and jewelries. The Inspector General of COP Christian Tetoyono provided details of the operation.
I'm delighted to announce that we have successfully dismantled the gang behind all these robberies. So far, we have successfully arrested 10 suspects. 3 other suspects were shot dead in the course of the operation during a shootout with the police. We have launched a manhunt for the remaining suspects who are on the run. We will not stop until we get them arrested. We were also able to recover 14 weapons, including AK-47 rifles, pump action guns, a single barrel gun, pistols, ammunition, vehicles, mobile phones, among others.
He has a warning for other robbers out there.
I would like to assure you that the police will continue to make life uncomfortable for criminal elements in our society. We will continue to pursue you till you are brought to justice. The Police Management Board have decided to promote 3 chief inspectors to the police academy. 3 inspectors to chief inspector. 2 sergeants to inspector. 1 corporal to sergeant. 3 constables. They are lucky, very fresh. They are giving lance corporal. To the senior officers, the police council will take a decision on them. Thank you very much.
And my colleague Maxwell Agbagba was at that press conference organized by the police. So Maxwell, we know that between April and September alone, there were 10 separate attacks on rural banks, averaging 2 every month. From the details the police have provided, what did we learn about the gang's operations?
Well, today the police opened up about the painstaking investigations that they conducted for about 6 months to get to this point. And in fact, our sources within the Ghana Police Service have been providing some details about how they were able to zero in and track down, these members of the gang. We are told that some members of the Ghana Police Forces, some members of the Ghana Police Service actually infiltrated the ranks of, this robbery gang, and they were able to provide the needed, information. Now, another thing that we've been learning also is that police actually studied the modus operandi of this robbery gang.
Mm-hmm.
And usually what they do is they move into a bank, they take security personnel on duty hostage, seize their weapons, and then use industrial, cutters to cut the vaults of the bank. And then the boats, they run away with cash and other properties, within the bank. And this police studied for a very long time and noted a trend within, the robberies. Remember, these robberies were happening not just in one region. We're told it happened in the Ashanti region, in the Central region, in the Western region, in the Ofori region, in all these regions. And it was just a similar trend. They move into the bank, first take the security personnel hostage, and then get into the bank using industrial cutters to cut the votes before they take, the properties and all of that. We're told that during the investigations, they were able to zero in on an ex-convict who is actually the mastermind of the group. And what this ex-convict did was to recruit all of these members, 10 of them who have been arrested now, 3 of them who are dead, and some of them who are on the run. So this ex-convict, who is the mastermind, actually recruited all the other members and got them, on board. And in fact, we're told that when police went to his residence, they were able to retrieve some weapons, assault rifles, pump action guns, some of them buried in a sack, in a pond, in his home. Yeah.
Thank you, Maxwell Agbagba, for that update.
And thankfully, we can speak to Solomon Amankwa. He's Executive Director of the Association of Rural Banks. Also joining me is Dr. Victor Doke. He is a lecturer, Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. He's a security analyst too. Solomon Amankwa, let me start with you. I mean, the fascinating details we have from the police are pretty shocking indeed. And I wonder, these banks are members of yours. In the raids that we've seen, what details do you have about possible casualties and the amounts involved?
Thank you very much for having me, and good evening to your cherished listeners. I think, first of all, I need to commend the Ghana Police Service for this swift work and professional work in arresting this suspect. Indeed, these robberies have caused a little bit of fear and distraction in some of the communities in which we operate. To sum up the collateral damage that our members or some of our members have suffered, it's huge. We can't quantify them. We don't have that some run into millions in terms of the physical robberies, and then we also look at the psychological trauma that some of our members or some of our staffs and even some of the customers have gone through in these localities. It is huge and really damaging. But we are grateful to Ghana Police Service for this arrest. I think this will send a strong signal, and it will safeguard our communities.
Do you have adequate security at these rural banks across the country?
Yes, we do. And indeed, for some time now, we've also urged our members to beef up securities. I mean, when you go to our local banks, we've indeed boosted security by investing in CCTV alarms. We have our armor vehicle, which is bulletproof and all that. We've also trained security staff in security protocols and all that. We've organized a lot of training in building their capacity in terms of training in security. We've also had a lot of collaboration since this incident started. I mean, Central Region, for instance, we are on the response one of the police, and we've done a lot of collaboration, and so it has strengthened our members. We've also spoken to our members to mostly beef our securities in such areas, and so we've taken measures in strengthening security in most of our banks.
I mean, Dr. Dockett, there's a reason why the rural banks were targeted. It appears to me that they were seen as soft targets. They're called rural banks for a reason. Most of them found in hard-to-reach areas in this country. Is the problem there that sort of throws up what we need to be doing a bit more in terms of providing adequate security for them?
Thank you very much. Yes, the notion is that with regards to the rural areas, for example, when we look at the security spectrum and the rural entry, you will realize that yes, the ratio of personnel to the citizens or the population community members doesn't match with regards to the urban centers. So the notion for these criminals is that once they aren't seeing enough visibility with regards to security personnel, then it gives them that advantage to commit these crimes. One thing we also need to notice, these groups of criminal group have done a lot of extensive research with regards to the areas in which they committed these crimes. They analyzed the movements of the security personnel. knew the timings where they are deployed, and everything with regards to how they can commit this crime. So we know that if we want to curtail or get this medicine, we need to increase visibility.
Dr. Doke, apologies, you're having a challenge with that connection there, unfortunately, but thank you very much for joining us. And I did just a quick word on the point that Dr. Doke was just making at the end. Solomon, do you require any further assistance from the police? You say you've asked your members to beef up security. Dr. Doke says visibility is important. The police must improve that. Do you require additional deployment of the police or further assistance to beef up your security?
Not only the police, but the government as we would want as the security agencies to sustain and even scale up these security interventions, and then dedicate some police patrol, police presence in the rural areas. Just like Doc was saying, we find ourselves in areas where other financial services would not operate, and so we are in the remote part of the country, and as road accessibility and all that is also a problem. I think if the government would address these issues, the police would share intelligence and then logistic support from the rural bank. I think we'll go a long way in curbing those robberies.
And these banks have been hit. Are they open now, or they still remain closed?
Yes. In fact, they are all operational. I mean, even though the incidents occur, I mean, staff have been they've been vigilant now, and the place is safe. We want to assure people that their deposits and their safety matter to us, and we remain strong as your bank, and we are taking every step to protect you and your money. So people should feel free and should be encouraged. That
I mean, but you lost some money. How are you making up for what was stolen?
That's a difficult one because it is lost already, but we'll look forward to maybe insurance in recovering some of them, but some of them are gone as we get. But we are putting measures in place to recover from this incident.
I mean, you mentioned insurance. I was going to ask you earlier that they must be insured. I mean, everyone does that.
They are. In fact, we urge and employ all our members to take all those steps and all those measures, and so all those measures are in place.
Okay, thank you very much, Solomon Mankwai, and apologies there to Dr. Victor Doke, whose line failed us just when he made that important point about police visibility. Still live here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. Right after the brief commercial break, George Yaffe will join me with business. Live here, my name is Mensah.
And I am Pale Ofori. My name is Pale Ofori.
SME Month this September under the theme Connecting the Next Generation of Entrepreneurs. For our young emerging entrepreneurs, this month is loaded with major vibes tailored to your growth and ambitions. Sharpen your skills at the Telecell Business Runway and the AI Workshop, and connect with other change makers at our very first Telecell Red Mixer, an exclusive networking event. There's more. Unlock tailored products designed to match your unique business goals this Telecell SME Month. Your time is now to transform your genius into impact. Keep up with all the action by following Telecell on social media for updates, or visit our website www.telecell.com.gh/business.
Telecell, connecting energies.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining in my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me dana with holy insecticide spray.
Holy
Mosquito Quell Holy Multi-Purpose Insecticide Spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
No. You look so relaxed and cheerful these days. What's your secret?
No secret, Kofi. I just sorted out my retirement with Shield Pension Trust. You should talk to them.
Retirement? A small time before pension.
Sure. The earlier you start, the better. And Shield Pension Trust makes this so easy for you. They've got amazing plans to choose from. I even signed up for the Shield Cedi Crow a day personal pension scheme, which lets you save as little as 1 Ghana Cedi a day. So what's your retirement? Isn't that great?
1 Cedi a day.
Exactly. And the best part is, I sign up automatically on the Dacia Promoting Plan, which guarantees me medical insurance when I go on retirement.
Hey, you've convinced me. I need to sign up now.
Kofi is making a move to secure his future and health insurance when he goes on retirement. What about you? Go to Shield Pension Trust or call us now on 050-915-0253 and we'll guide you through securing your pension tomorrow. Shield Pension Trust, into the future with you.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. I repeat, or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
This is really good. Missing that real taste of Ghana? Your favorite kitchen is calling. Living Room Restaurant, famous for mouth-watering authentic Ghanaian dishes, has a brand new home. We've moved. Find your favorite food now at our bigger, better spot on the Trinity Avenue, Baalishi, East Legon. It's the same incredible flavors, same warm Ghanaian hospitality, just a fresh new location, and now with live band on weekends. You could also book our lovely spaces for your private event at the same venue and enjoy the same great service. Visit us today at Trinity Avenue, Baalishi, East Legon. Living room, simply delicious.
You're welcome back to Business on Newslight. Let's now settle for the details. Now, some businesses have indicated that they will have no choice than to pass on the utility tariff hikes to consumers. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission today announced a 1.14% hike utility tariffs from October 1 this year. Now, this is to help meet the operational cost of the power producers in the country for the fourth quarter of this year. John Awunim is chairman of the Food and Beverage Association.
As I indicated some few days ago, sales in the food and beverage sector has dropped by as much as 70%. Things are literally at a standstill. So even if the percentage increment is 0.5, it will transfer to the prices of food. As they have increased by 1.14%, expect transporters to begin to agitate for increment. Bread price will go up. In fact, everything, everything will go up. And so because there's nobody that will bear that. And indeed, it's going to continue to make Ghanaian products completely uncompetitive. It is obviously going to lead to higher prices. Come first week of October, go to the Makola market, not only our food and beverage, but go to Makola, go to Medina, go to Malata. Tomato prices will go up, onion will go up. They will tell you that, oh, Oma to power. That's all what they will say.
Chairman of the Food and Beverage Association, John Awunim. Now, the Finance Ministry has signed a bilateral agreement with the UK government to restructure Ghana's debts and unlock fresh funding for some key projects across the country, including the Big Push. The move is part of initiatives by government to secure donor support for the country's economic growth. Finance Minister Dr. Tuforson believes this will make a way for more opportunities ahead.
We began by signing a bilateral agreement to restructure the debt with France. We last week also completed the signing of the bilateral agreement with the China Exim Bank, and today we are going to sign an agreement with the UK. Obviously, our relationship with the UK dates back years, and signing with the UK concludes more or less our journey in a way that we know that the UK is with us in this important journey of recovery. We are seeing some significant signs of economic recovery since 2022.
On his part, His Majesty's Trade Commissioner to Africa, John Humphrey, assured that the UK will continue to support Ghana's economy, including the country's flagship initiative, that is the 24-hour economy program.
And by restructuring this debt in partnership with the Paris Club and G20, we're creating the fiscal space Ghana needs to deliver on its bold vision for the future, including the 24-hour economy and the Big Push initiatives. And these are not just slogans, they're transformative agendas that will drive jobs, drive innovation, and create prosperity for millions of people.
His Majesty's Trade Commissioner to Africa, John Humphrey. The country recorded more than 900,000 international visitors between the fourth quarter of 2022 to the third quarter of 2023. Now, that's according to the latest Ghana International Travelers Report released by the Ghana Statistical Service today. More in this report.
Out of this number, a little over 888,000 spent more than a day in Ghana, approximately spending 15.1 billion cedis within that period. However, those that spent just under 24 hours in the country, or let's say passengers that were in transit, recorded a total expenditure of 24 million cedis. Majority of these overnight visitors came to Ghana purposely to visit friends and relatives. Hotel emerged as the most used type of accommodation for these persons, despite the springing up of short-stay properties in the capital and other parts of the country. Most of these visitors were coming from America and other West African countries. In terms of tourist sites, Independence Square, Art Center, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park emerged as the most visited during the period. Places of preference for those who stayed in Ghana less than 24 hours included the Bisabrewa Museum as well as the Cape Coast Castle. Males consistently outnumbered their female counterparts across all age groups. In terms of age groups, persons between 36 to 64 years recorded the highest number of visits for each quarter when it comes to overnight stay and same-day visits.
And that is a Business Desk report. An Agricultural Development Bank says it has instituted measures to help sustain the strong pickup in its profit after tax for last year. The bank in 2024 recorded a net profit of 35 million Ghana cedis, coming from a loss in 2023. Addressing shareholders at the bank's annual general meeting in Accra today, Board Chairman Kenneth Thompson says they have taken these actions to deal with the high non-performing loans.
The issue with non-performing loans is, yes, it's an issue, but they say if you do the same thing and expect different results, you are mad. And we're doing things that are completely different to make sure that we collect the loans. Because collecting the loans is critical for the bank going forward. And over the last few months, the staff have been energized. We are taking different approaches. We are meeting debtors. We are renegotiating. We are making sure that we are at the top of the debtors' priority list. And slowly, we can see results.
Kenneth Thompson is the board chairman of the Agricultural Development Bank. Now, Hyundai Motors and Investment Ghana officially launches all new 2026 Hyundai Palisade and making it a major step in the brand's commitment to delivering world-class vehicles and supporting Ghana's economy. Now, speaking to Joy Business, the launch of the event, country manager Ganesh Pledi said that the new addition reinforces Hyundai's strategy, providing advanced mobility for customers.
Hyundai is always innovative. They always keep changing their models according to the customer demands and the market demand. And as I mentioned that Hyundai always change their models every 4 years. As like you say that we've seen that Santa Fe changed last year after 4 years. This is the third generation of Palisade. The Palisade second generation came 4 years ago. Now this 2026 is the third generation. So this is according to the market demand. Hyundai always change.
And country manager for Hyundai Motors and Investment Ghana, Ganesh Pledi. And that's all for business on News Night. And it's time for us to some commercials.
Ah, Ma, have you received the delivery?
Sis,
Fiana Riders Bay. Send in the Momo.
Okay, *176.
Paco. Don't you use a smartphone? Use the Momo app, ne?
Huh? Aba app.
Hey, I want to say a millennium, say millennial. Inyim. Oh, millennium for ya nyaze. Switch to the app. Oh, you're smart. No, you're secure.
Enter a world of possibilities with the Momo app. Pay your favorite merchant, pay utility bills, and borrow from our wide range of lending services. Move to the app side today. MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank account too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you're abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Are you clapping? Are you giving God the glory?
Hallelujah! Every day you wake up shouting, my business is not moving. Customers are not coming. But look, my brother, my sister, who are you deceiving? Have you smiled today? Do you have the confidence to smile? Your face alone is chasing people away. Yeah! We all know that the problem is not a spiritual problem. The problem is a dental problem. She was saying, use Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste to remove yellow.
Somebody shout amen.
Craft your smile with Pepsodent Charcoal. It removes stains and whitens teeth. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, do you know him, sir? And stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. Just send it this way, you hear my tina watch. New year it's now watch. No, be a baby, someone some demoni in us say. Do you know him, say? For quiet, yes, in Biara Association Ontario. Use Stay Soft and you hear it's now watch. Nani boss to tap from cry. A fabric softener. And you near say, sir. Choose to Stay Soft. No, so say, you know. FDID a dreading crack to yatu.
Sasso, si come tonton preco. Sasso, si come tonton preco. Edrana drami nebu seshe. Yeah, haka siare malaria. Minya me kone me sasso spray. Every mosquito study run away. Come on, tonton. saso mi se kumentonton preko. Oh, kumentonton preko. Saso kumtonton preko. Na ni sham ne die e demonstronko.
This advert is FDA approved.
And you're welcome back to Newsnight. It's time for sports, and Achu Tamaklo is here. Achu, what do we have?
Hi, Pearl. Still on the unfortunate passing of the Ghanaian boxer, the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Yampo Frankra, he's defended the Ghana Boxing Authority's decision not to investigate the circumstances that led to the death of the boxer Ernest Akushe. Akushe died on Monday after a short illness, becoming the second boxer to die in Ghana this year within days of a competitive fight. The JBA has said its next line of action will be determined by the contents of the autopsy reports.
In the course of this particular fight, he can be called implicit or what should I say, complicit rather, to any of the pre-fights, during and post-fight issues. Then we need to find out. But I can't sit on radio and accuse Roger Bano or any of the event organizers. What I can say is that the records and the documentations are there. We will definitely find out and get to the bottom of it. What happened before, during and after the fight. Medical reports, respectfully, Nipanehu is not available to the public yet, but we are making, efforts to get those records as well.
That was Yampo Frankra. He was speaking on Asempa FM earlier today.
It's still live here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is riding a wave of momentum in the MPP flag bearer race, particularly in the Eastern region, where 15 out of 23 MPs have thrown their weight behind him. The show of support includes prominent figures like Kojo Ponkruma, Frank Anodonpre, Samia Wuku, and Michael Otrebefi, signaling a strong endorsement of Dr. Bawumia's leadership capabilities. Chase MP Kingsley Ahinkra Mafo emphasized Bawumia's qualifications, marketability, and ability to unite the party.
Our purpose to endorse the candidature of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for the flag bearership of the MPP for the 2028 elections. We are doing so because we are clear in our minds that Dr. Bawumia is the best candidate to lead us to victory in 2028 elections. Having been well marketed and having served as Ghana's most impactful vice president, he is the best option politically and policy-wise to win the election. Secondly, he is a candidate who demonstrates the characteristics that Ghanaians want in their next leader: humble, effective, and embracing all persons. We need a leader who unites and not one who divides. Finally, after all the propaganda heard against the MPP in 2024, it is becoming clear day by day that Bawumia was right in many of the things he proposed. Now is a time that more Ghanaians are warming up to this idea. Changing him will be setting ourselves back by another 16 years. We have the committed and will work hard for him across the region and encourage all party members to firm in their resolute to support his candidature.
And let's stay with the NPP internal politics because Bryony Champon, who's one of the flag bearer aspirants, is responding to criticisms over his jabs at fellow contenders ahead of the party's flag bearer elections. Speaking after his vetting, he said he will continue to throw jabs as long as the campaign is ongoing.
There have been a few jabs, and I think there will be a couple more. We are embarking on a campaign. I mean, I will be hit, others will be hit. It's part of the campaign. It's normal in our politics, except that wisdom must be applied for you to know the line beyond which you are infuriating somebody. That will make unity post-election difficult. But the regular jabs of pecking people's faces, those ones will happen. We just have to make sure that we don't poke the eyes, and that will become a problem.
And that'll be all on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Ofori, and I was here with...
My name is Evans Mensah.
But you'd want to stay with us because coming up next is Strong and Sassy with Enimwa and a great team. You don't want to miss what we'll be discussing tonight.
Well, she's here. What are you talking about?
Wow, Evans. So September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And we've been talking about leukemia. I don't know if you've been following the stories, but tonight we're finishing up with 2 amazing survivors telling the story and raising money. So I'll be coming to collect money from you.
Cha-ching.
Yes.
He has a lot of it.
I know. So towards a good cause.
I accept the prophecy.
Wow.
Amen.
Okay, well, stay tuned.